Hello, everybody, and welcome to another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Hopefully, you are all here. Hopefully, you are all okay, even though it's the beginning of another week. And I'm very glad to see all of you in the chat already, ready and raring to go. I just about made it by the skin of my teeth. I was just doing some stuff outside, and I better come in. I better come in. Oh my God! Yes, it's been quite a busy, eventful day, as you have them usually. Has everybody had a good day? Give me a one in the chat if your day has been okay. And if I see the number 69, I know someone's having a laugh. So come on, how's your day been? Meanwhile, let's have a look at some people. Julie Keys, hello. Anna Perkins, Jerry. Alan, you had a crap day, had you? Just seen your number there. Blood Nose. John Harrington, Chrissy Williams, good evening to all of you. Hope you are all okay. Bridget as well. Julie Baldwin's in the chat. Good to see you as well. We, of course, had Factual Breakdown in with us the other night as well, which was all very good indeed. John Harrington, hello to you. Lisa Farr, half a good day. Half a good day. Okay, we'll have that. No 69s as of yet. That's really quite something. Yes, I've changed the way I do videos now. I decided to put that KineMaster thing on my phone, and you can do a lot more with it. It's a lot more powerful with effects and overlays and videos and things of that nature. And you can jazz things up a hell of a lot more than you could do with the normal native editing software on a phone. And why the hell I didn't do it sooner, I do not know. But there you go. Saint Putin is in the chat. Hello to you. Good to see you. Mark Hampson. Hello. Julie Keys as well. Has my mother sneaked in? Yes, I guess she has. I didn't see her. Hello, Mum. We popped over there with Jack earlier, and Mum's lent me a piece of kit, which it looks like has probably done the job. I've got one of these metal outdoor pool things. The old metal frame put up job is plastered with algae. It was terrible. And Mum lent me a pond hoover for hoovering stuff off the bottom of the pond, and it looks like, touch wood and fingers crossed, or yeah, it's done the job. So just let the water settle and see what happens. But when the kids are on the summer holiday, Jack needs stuff to do. Speaking of him, he's doing very well on his bike. We went for I think it was about a mile down a long road and back up again earlier, so that was good as well. Listen, everybody in the chat, if you've just joined us, welcome. Please make sure you hit the like button immediately. That's the first thing you do when you come in, and you know, into Andy the Gabby Cabby land, and we get the algorithm talking about our chat straight away. Well, one of the videos I did earlier was about what Priti Patel proposes to do next about the dinghy divers. And yes, there's some varying comments on there. And I discover in one of them, I've been given a new nickname. Apparently, I'm the Shabby Cabby instead of the Gabby Cabby. And I've actually put this person's comment right where you can see it, just in case anyone wanted to come pay their respects. I thought that was quite imaginative. I suppose when I have a few days worth of stubble on my chin, I do look a tad shabby, but I much prefer Gabby to shabby. In short, fuck right off. But I've, of course, put that there for you all to see and pay your respects duly, which is absolutely wonderful. And speaking of the dinghy divers, there's another load of information here. Of course, we have the situation where Priti Patel wants to give away a load more money. Nigel the Handyman and Cosmic Warto, good to see you in the chat. And, you know, this is the case in point here. There's an article here which says small boat arrivals hit record level with largest number of migrant crossings on a single day this year. I mean, this person who decided to invade the comments earlier basically said they're refugees. Are they? Bollocks. You know, they're anything but. You don't I mean, look at this. Look, that's a lot of them. And yes, we have to work out what we're going to do with them. And yes, they seem to be taking that tack, but there are many that are slipping through the net in this country, and its safety just aren't actually actually a priority, it seems, anymore over these people coming in. The simple answer is stop them at source. But small boat arrivals have hit a record level with the large number of people crossing on a single day this year, GB News has been told. More than 600 migrants were taken for processing in Kent on Monday. 600. Put that figure in your head. That's not refugees. That's something else. Yeah. After authorities intercepted around a dozen small boats over a 10-hour period, that's 600 of them in 10 hours. Since first light, Border Force lifeboats and the Royal Navy have been responding to multiple reports of small boats crossing into UK waters. At the entrance to Ramsgate Harbour, GB News Kent producer filmed as two Border Force vessels, the catamarans Typhoon and Volunteer, arrived together to unload dozens of people. So they're coming into Ramsgate now, are they? Well, that's something, isn't it? That is something. For the past week, Border Force has been using Ramsgate as an alternative landing spot for Channel migrants because of the traffic chaos around Dover. Oh, ain't that a shame? Those taken to Ramsgate are being bussed to the nearby Ministry of Defence base at Manson because it's only 5 minutes instead of about half an hour drive. With the crisis at the port of Dover easing, it's understood that most operations will return to Dover Harbour on Tuesday. This year's previous record for the largest number of people arriving on small boats in a single day was 562 on the 14th of April. On Saturday, 460 arrived in Kent after being pulled off of 12 boats. Today's total, 600, surpassed the previous one-day total, and it also brings the number of them that arrive in this country this year to 17,000. 17,000, and it's August. I suspect as well this is probably underreported. I really do. It comes as the Home Secretary is reported to be close to agreeing the renewal of a controversial multi-million-pound border deal with France. Is that a secure border, Pretty? I do wonder. The UK has paid France more than 80 million over the past 2 years to enhance surveillance and policing along the beaches in northwestern France, where the small boats set off from. The French have been criticised by many on the UK side of the channel for not doing enough to stop migrant boats taking to the water, but the Home Office claims French authorities have been playing their part in efforts to stop it. A spokesman said that with around 29,000 people attempting to cross this year, authorities in France have managed to stop 13,500 of them. I saw a statistic earlier where it said that there's a ratio of 48 to 50%. They're not managing to stop. And, 48, the other way. It's still too many. If the French apparently weren't doing anything, I mean, this is bollocks. These figures, we've got people down in Dover, which returners a completely different story. What are we supposed to believe anymore? Where are they supposed to be? Let's have a look through the comments, shall we? Yes, well, the money chucked at France is doing nothing. That's right. I mean, I'm a firm believer these things need stopping at source. If they can't leave the French coastline, game over. You're no longer in business. So there you go. Chrissy Williams, the money we're sending to France, but that's why they send them over here, spent on more dinghies. They don't want them over here. It's the big racket. I mean, just for context, Chrissy lives in Folkestone, right on the coast, where all this is going on. Jerry Georgopoulos, yeah, the French don't want them either. So they're being allowed to come here. What about the border on the other side of France? How are they getting in? It's crazy. Didion, hello to you. Good to see you in the chat. I mean, you've got a similar problem in America, haven't you, right now, where they're flooding over the border, where Trump's wall is no longer there. Again, nuts. Track the boats or stop the boats or something with the boats. Why pay them? Pay the police to stop them? Well, have you seen the news about the police lately? That's another kettle of fish. Well, the money chucked at France is doing nothing. That's right, Bridget. We've had that comment. Yep, damn lies and statistics from Nick B. That's absolutely spot on. I won't hold my breath. Yes, absolutely, Alan. That's right. Probably to buy more dinghies. Well, that's what someone's saying. You know, how is this constant flow of dinghies actually happening? Andy, all new faces at the local car wash. You could be right. You could be right. Mind you, some of them do a good job, don't they? Perhaps all the money being sent to Macron should be given to us to pay for winter fuel bills. Yeah, that's right, Nigel. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to think of theirs first. I mean, you know, you go to Truss and Sunak and all these promises and baloney that were being thrown from in their direction. Is that going to happen? Yes, whatever. We'll wait and see. Well, we haven't got much longer to wait and see now with that, have we? Where else are we? Miss Truss needs to answer a few questions, doesn't she? Honesty and truth. I think they all do. Andy, they're going to Ramsgate so people don't keep an eye on the numbers. Well, they're blaming the traffic trouble at Dover. So will be interesting to see. I mean, if I catch on that they're still going in and out of there, I might have a wander down there myself at some point, have a little look-see. But we will think about that for another time. Better late than never. Alan Pape. Alan Pierce. Well, we can't delay them getting to their 4-star accommodation, can we? Yes. Meanwhile, where do we go on holiday? Lots of Europe, the same kind of thing there. Maybe illegal economic migrants. Yes. They're definitely the economic kind, aren't they? Absolutely. William Cockley Hill. Yes, I agree with you. It's certainly like that. Andy the Gabby Cabby, hold on. It's been reported that our guests, some 2,000, have wandered off. Where are they? Who are they? That's another factor, honesty and truth. Another factor indeed. I remember years ago, in taxi driving, we have a thing called an account job. And you basically drive to a destination, pick a customer up, take them to wherever, and then you get paid for it a week later. I'm driving down to Dover quite happily. I get a phone call, and the office says to me, "Have you been briefed on who you're going to get?" And I thought, no, I don't know. And they said illegal immigrants. Okay, I felt like turning the bloody car around and going, but they said to me it was kids that had been found in the bottom of the container ship. I thought, okay. So I proceeded to drive down there, went into the port. And there was this massive room with a lot of them looked a lot older than kids, to be honest with you, but they all had a black bag and zip-tied wrists. And then there was these two individuals, we'll call them, apparently kids. And I had to transport them, which at the time was a processing centre up in Ashford. Okay, so I said to the Border Force guy, what if they leg it? What am I supposed to do then? He said, let them. He said inevitably they won't, but let them. I wonder how many have legged it. I wonder what their intentions are, what they have with them. This is half the problem. And then you get these lefty do-gooding idiots come up having a go, going, you're racist, don't be nasty. They don't actually think of the consequences, do they? For this country, they're just thinking of doing good for some virtual signalling matter over that way. This is what drives it all. This is what makes it all go round in circles. Yeah, Alan Edge, apparently they are. Ramsgate. I think I've got to drive out that way tomorrow anyway, so I'll go and have a look, see what I can find. Yes, Alan Pierce, economic migrants, not refugees, economic migrants. It's definitely not refugees. Yes, we're all of the same view, aren't we? I mean, it's an absolute joke situation, no matter which way you look at it, and it's being held with the biggest level of incompetence you've ever seen in your life. Anyway, welcome to the chat. If you have just joined us, we've got good numbers already. We haven't even hit the 20-minute mark. We're off and running. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the chat. Give it the thumbs up. That helps the algorithm get this channel noticed, which is what it's all about. And I thank you for that. If you haven't done so already, and you're just watching Andy the Gabby Cabby for the first time, please consider subscribing as well. And it'll be good to see you on the channel as a regular. And I thank you all, each and every one of you, for your support. It's great, and we're going great guns. Michael Castrian, long time no see. What have you got to say? Evening, Andy. When the UK has become nothing but a toilet, they'll want to go back to France, because France is getting richer with each harebrained scheme Patel comes up with. That's pretty much the size of it. We got it all backwards, haven't we? Got it all backwards. Anyway, hope you well, Michael. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, it's your comment gone. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. Yeah, bear with me 2 seconds, folks. Okay, so we got the small boats. Yes, the BBC seems to be in the news lately, for one thing or another. And there's a certain friend of this channel, Mr. Belfield, who should know one way or the other in a not too distant future which way that jury of his is going to swing, one way or t'other. And I very much have my own views on it, which I've quite openly communicated to the man himself. We'll just have to wait and see. But you know, that's another organisation that's full of double standards and bullshit. You know, when you try and please everybody all of the time, you know, giving 75 million genders, for example, you will end up tripping over your own tongue trying to cover your ass eventually, and you just make it look silly. In the end, it's really very simple. I found an interesting one here. Not really something that I cover, but I'll tell you all about it. Stink pooter before we do. Listen, I'm only in the garage because of the temperature outside. On the Ford Tornio, my taxi, the window is massive, absolutely ginormous, and it's like a sucker for all the heat. And the phone just overheats in there. And believe you me, I miss the cab as well. It's peaceful and quiet, and I ain't got this fucking great boiler next to me making a load of racket. Just as soon as it's manageable, I will be back in that car, believe you me. All this is literally just a temporary solution until that happens. So don't worry, the cab isn't a thing of the past. I can guarantee you that. But just for you, shut that door. Right. Let's have a look. Yeah. Here we are. BBC slammed for allowing its 50-50 male and female quota to be filled by transgender. Okay. The BBC is facing backlash after claims they're allowing its 50-50 male and female target quota to be filled by transgender guests. The 50-50 project was founded by news presenter Ross Atkins in 2017 with the aim to increase the number of women on screen. But Mr. Atkins has been slammed for going along with the change after the BBC said they do not monitor whether a contributor's gender differs from their sex registered at birth in a recent equality project. The BBC report said content makers monitor the gender identity of their contributors with the aim of featuring at least 50% women. They do not monitor whether a contributor's gender differs from their sex registered at birth. Where possible, teams also monitor the proportion of contributors who identify as non-binary or genderqueer in order to improve their representation of all genders. This date is not currently reported to 50-50, the Equality Project, but is used by these teams to improve their representation of all genders. Employees have since slammed the BBC stance, saying they are following Stonewall law. The BBC has now disappeared women as a sex class and instead monitors gender identity. It's redefined a word which we all understand without any public debate, and Ross Atkins has gone along with the change. In this 50-50 monitoring, the BBC is still allowing Stonewall law in failing to respect sex as a protected characteristic. A BBC spokesman said the BBC's 50-50 project is a groundbreaking initiative that has significantly increased women's representation. In BBC content, it has inspired others to do the same. So this is so clearly an attempt to generate a story where none exists. While in a recent report, BBC Director General Tim Davie added, "This, of course, still much work to do to achieve equality in disability, ethnicity, and gender representation. But we are moving in the right direction, not just at the BBC, but across the wider media industry and beyond." The success of 50-50 has led to 145 organisations worldwide joining this network, with more than half joining us in the 50-50 challenge. That's 73% of those who weren't achieving gender balance when they first joined the project have seen an improvement, proves the impact of 50-50 well beyond the BBC. Isn't this getting bloody confusing, all this? Really? Maybe I'm just thick. Maybe I'm missing the point. But there's a man, there's a woman. Man loves woman, woman loves man. You can have gay, you can have lesbian, fine. No problem with it. But then all of a sudden you get man no longer wants to be man, wants to be woman, woman no longer wants to be woman, wants to be man. Some even want to be identified as a cardboard box or a little bit of both in between. How overly complicated. And then they start teaching this to our kids. I do not get it. And then when you get organisations such as the BBC saying what they are saying, it complicates it even further. And then you look at other organisations. Well, I heard an advert from Kent Police. No, it's the Met, actually. The Met, I beg your pardon, I stand corrected. They're trying to recruit numbers. And with the current climate, how the fuck you want to be a copper in London is beyond me. And I'll come to another story about that shortly. But they seemed very set on gender specifics or ethnicity. They had this one in the advert, what was it? Oh, I'm black, I'm homosexual, and I'm something else, non-binary, something or other. That would make me a good police officer. How about you just good at your fucking job? How about you meet the requirements and the skills needed to be a police officer? You know, all this garbage is making the world a very complicated place, and it is driving me insane. I don't know about you guys, but that's just the way I feel about it. And, you know, places like the BBC just seem to do this with the whole thing the whole time. Stir, stir, stir. For everything I've just said, I guess I'll be labelled a racist, homophobic, idiotic something or other, all of which I am certainly not. but the mind boggles how complicated things are getting now. Anyway, let's have a look, see what you guys are talking about. We got 97 in the chat, by the way. That's great. If you can give me the thumbs up if you haven't done so already, that would be wonderful. Get that algorithm talking. Hi, Rafi. Good to see you. I got your email the other day with your good wishes. Thank you for that. We are all fine, and I'm trying to do what you've said. Mark Keane. Just logged in, Mark from Swindon Cartoon Man. Yeah, that's you. Thank you for those. They're brilliant. Stonewall needs to close down and F off, as does the BBC. It's all but crap. Yes, overcomplicated crap. John Harris, it makes us look weak and pathetic. Footy, where we go? Footy sucks, but good on you. Andy, what's up with Keir Starmer's Beergate story? Blown apart by leaked memo. I'll have a quick look at that. I did see his boat race on my thing early, but I shall have a look at that. Maybe get that out tonight or tomorrow. I was trying to steer away from politics a little because I was getting too political, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, exactly, M. Perry. Why not give the job to the best professional, regardless of this crap? That's exactly what it's all about at the end of the day. Tony Whitworth, that's all white. Yes, very good. David L. Why do these men change their voice when they go trans, etc., when they weren't like that at birth? Do you reckon they put that on, or do you reckon it's something in the hormones that does it? I really haven't got a clue. I really haven't. Black homosexual in a wheelchair will make chief of police. Yes, well, I mean, that's quite diverse, isn't it? You couldn't get any more diverse than that. Michael Castrian, messing with a child's sex is nothing short of grand. Yeah, wasn't there some kind of centre that was going to be closed down connected with that sort of thing? I was reading again. It's not something I feel I'm usually happy discussing because I don't feel comfortable going there. But I don't know, I'll just skirt around the edges just enough. A conundrum. Imagine a transgender person is found decomposed. All they have is their skeleton to identify them. Which gender will the remains be? That's a bloody good question, actually. We'll let the pathologists get their head around that one. BBC crying England women's footballers won the final unfairly because they played with 12 white players. 11 white players, plus one named white. Jesus. Tony, it's incredible. I mean, we had this argument with the men's team, didn't we? It looked like he was trying to go for a bit of diversity rather than those with the appropriate ability. And look what happened. We've got to stop this crap. We really have. Until you can change your genetics, you will always be a man or woman, however you identify. Don't say that to the lefties, they'll get you. Kids are being indoctrinated, just my opinion. Obviously, I applaud parents who take their kids out of school to avoid this crap. I said this the other day, the way to change it is the next generation. That is where the answer is. And if we lose them, we lose the battle completely. And, I listen to what Jack comes home and says on a regular basis for any, I suppose you could call them red markers or alarm bells as to things I wouldn't like very much. But so far, touch wood, so good. He's not been too bad. Nigel the handyman saying hello to Rafi. Yeah, he's my tech guy in the background that does all the techie bits for me. Keir Starmer's Beergate story blown apart by leaked memo. Does this mean the top cop who could find no evidence will lose his reviewed contract? Yes, you do have to wonder. I'll have another look at that and see if I can bring that to you. Stink Pooter. People not paying license, that's something else. Da, 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 da. Yes, I mean, I'll tell you one thing I love about this community of ours here. We are all of similar view. We're just common sense people who've had enough of it, you know, and we gather together and we say what we feel. Hello, Christine Quinnell. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Thank you very much. What's this? Universities are now saying we must not use skeletons as a way to identify sex. It's against the trans movement. Oh, Jesus Christ. Gets better, doesn't it? Gets better. Gets better. Oh, dear, am I. This is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I hope you're all okay. This world has gone crazy, as we know. I hope you have hit the like button. Please do. The thumbs up. Let's get those likes up and running. Thank you very much. If you're just watching the Gabby Cabby for the first time, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. That is completely free to do. And you can keep up to date with everything we do. And it's appreciated, as well as your contributions, your time, your comments, and you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we mentioned the police earlier. I mean, this goes on in America where, you know, police try to go about their job and you get some do-gooder walk up and stick a camera in their face, filming everything within no distance at all. It's incredible stupidity, and somebody is going to get hurt sooner or later. And yes, let me show you this. I don't know if you can make out the picture on one side. There's a person on the deck with something being stuck in the back of their head. Well, that person on the deck actually wanted to film what the police were up to, and that person on the deck matched a description of somebody the police were looking for. So they decided to go after him. He was actually pinned to the ground with a submachine gun, and they got the wrong guy. Footage has emerged of a dramatic stop and search incident in which armed police surrounded a knifeman on a busy street. One officer repeatedly shouted at the man to get to the fucking floor. A shocked passerby watched from a few feet away in Ilford, London. The man was said to have matched a description of someone carrying a knife, reported by a member of the public, but he was released after no weapon was found on him. The Met Police approached the man shortly before 9 on Saturday, shouting, "Get down on the floor, get down on the floor right now. Hands out to the side, do not move." All of the loud, kind of shouty stuff that you would do if you wanted somebody to do, as they were told, immediately. The man appeared to have no inkling he was about to be detained, as he stood calmly facing the officer, pointing what seemed to be a smartphone camera towards him. But he quickly got on the ground as the officer and two colleagues approached him with bystanders urging him to keep his head down. He then began demanding to know why he'd been detained and complaining, "You're pulling my face down." One officer could be heard replying, "We've had reports you're in possession of a knife, so right now you're detained." Detectives have yet to make any arrests in connection with this report. A spokesman for the Metropolitan Police said at approximately 20:50 hours on Saturday, armed officers responded to a report of a person in possession of a knife, stopping a man in High Road, Ilford. A man who matched a description of the suspect that was provided by a member of the public was detained for the purpose of a search. No knife was found, and he was allowed on his way. No arrests were made and no injuries were reported. Inquiries to establish the circumstances of the incident are ongoing. But at the end of the day, they got the wrong person. I don't think it's any more thing than that. But what concerns me about that whole report, it doesn't mention whether or not they got the right person, who may still be wandering around out there. It's a very dangerous situation yet again, and yet again, London. But I suppose the moral of the story, if the coppers are out there walking around trying to do their job and they look like a particular part of the police force which could respond quite forcibly, don't piss them off by pointing a camera at their face, because the last image you will see on it is that flying through the air and hitting the back of your prison cell, no doubt. Another crazy world. I mean, everywhere you look, there's cameras now. Everywhere you look, there's body-worn cameras by, police everywhere. Everywhere's a lot more accountable than they were. So the last thing they need really is a member of the public standing there trying to be Johnny Goody Two-Shoes, flashing that in their face. It really does nobody any good. And that's proven it's pretty bloody dangerous, and this person could have ended up in all sorts of trouble. But again, if there is somebody out there, where are they? Have they been arrested? That report doesn't make it. Out. Jean-Charles de Menzies. Yes, I remember that incident, Bobcat, very well. Where do these 99 plus genders come from? Who makes them up, and are they officially recognised? The mind boggles again, because I don't get it. I can wrap my head around certain things, but the whole, you can be anything you want to be. I mean, I identify as a 44-year-old human male. I've got fatty bits here and there, but that's how I was born, and that's how I am. That's just normal. And then you have certain ones where you're not one or the other. Well, what about the 50-50 project? If you were non-gender specific, what then? I suppose you sit on both sides of the fence, wouldn't you? And you put a tick in that box and that box. It doesn't work. It really doesn't. Yes, I was aware of that, Mark. I was very well aware of that, as well as lapel numbers and other things. But again, let's not talk about that until we know where we are. And I'll obviously say something about it in the coming days. Really? I thought you were non-binary. Kristen Quinnell says 10111110. Oh, non-binary. I thought you meant binary. Never mind. I identify as an onion. So many layers. Peeling them off will bring tears to your eyes. Love it. Brilliant. Right, last one. Heathrow. I mean, I'm off to the airports again. Tomorrow. I've got about 2 or 3 trips I've got to do, so I'll be on the road for a fair bit. Now, there seems to be problems at Heathrow again. Huge fire sends smoke billowing across Heathrow Airport as planes are moved onto a different runway. Apparently, there's 15 fire engines and something like 100 firefighters were involved. It was a grass fire in West London with smoke seen billowing across a Heathrow Airport. I mean, this is some of the pictures. Jesus, I'm glad I weren't up there today. That would have been a bloody disaster. See the smoke in the air there with the plane, and then that's the grassland, apparently. Now, if you showed that to a eco-climate maniac type person, they'd go, it's global warming, it's climate change. We're all doomed. The only thing I will agree with, maybe the extreme heat has dried everything out to that extent, but again, where's the ignition source? The brigade's control officers took 30 calls to do with the fire. The station commander at the scene said the fire produced a large amount of smoke. Residents, particularly around Bedfont Sports Club, should keep their windows and doors closed. The brigade was called at 14:53. Fire crews at Feltham, Chiswick, Heathrow, Heston and surrounding fire stations were all at the scene. The cause of the fire is not known at the time. Well, I've got a very big suspicion what caused that fire, and I think you have as well. Now, it wouldn't at all surprise me in the coming days whether the old stop oil people might be back out on the roads or something. Not that I'm saying anything at all. I wouldn't dream of casting aspersions like that anyway. But you know, that seemed to happen last time. There was a load of fires, and then we got people sitting on the M25. You know, who knows? Anyway, folks, we're at the 40-minute mark. I'm going to look at wrapping things up for the evening and calling it a day. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up button before you go. Let's try and get as close to 100 likes as we can. Really great to see everybody today. I appreciated your feedback on KineMaster. I think I got the hang of that pretty reasonably well. And I'm sure there are other bits and pieces that will go with it too, which we can look at and make things even better still. There'll be content out there tomorrow for you. There will be a live. I've got to work out the time yet because I've got a couple of early nights. Again, we'll have to see how that goes. Again, share the stuff. Get us on social media, comment, subscribe, everything you need to do. And then let's get this channel growing. I appreciate it very much. Until tomorrow, look after each other, stay safe, and keep warm. Toodaloo.